Hi, I'm Jennet Ingle, the 5-Minute Reedmaker. If you're watching this on YouTube, would you go ahead and click subscribe for me and notify so that you always know when I drop a new episode? And it becomes easier for other people to find my channel and to become better reedmakers and happier musicians. Thank you. Today, I want to share a little excerpt from the workshop that I ran over the weekend. The workshop was called "The Oboe is Not Your Friend, but It Can Be Your Partner." And the segment that I'm sharing is the section about reeds. I talk a lot about how important it is to be able to play on your good reeds and play on your bad reeds. Give yourself permission to play your good reeds, but practice playing on your bad ones. But it came to my attention in one of my flow classes a little bit ago that I had never really talked about how do you play on your bad reeds. And so in this little snippet, I talk about it a little bit, and I show you how I would overcome a lesser read. And the part you won't see is a lot of conversation after this happened with people in the chat about what was coming up for their reads and how they were working to overcome their own read situations. Let's talk about reads. I do believe that reads are the next factor. Because as in Isaiah's story, as in numerous of my stories too, reads they feel like they are out of your control. And they're not, of course, because you made them, or you purchased them and accepted them as they were, or made adjustments to them. And at minimum, you selected the one that you are playing on in this exact moment, the one that is failing you right now. But let us acknowledge that reads are awful. They will change on us even like as we are actually playing them. I can be in the middle of a concert and unbeknownst to me, a storm front rolls through and suddenly the response, the sustain, the pitch of the reed is not what it was when the concert began. And we know this. I think two things are true, and I will share them with you right now. I think the two things that are simultaneously completely true is that you should want your reads to be as excellent as possible, is that you should continue to work on your reed making or your reed adjusting or continue to quest for the reed maker of your dreams so that as much as possible, the reeds that you are playing on do the things you need them to do. They need to respond in an appropriate and predictable way. They need to allow you to continue to blow air through the instrument and continue to connect notes together. They need to allow for a dynamic range. They need to have flexibility around pitch. Both flexibility and stability to, the extent that is comfortable for you. The reeds need to do everything. And if you are a person who's like, yeah, if only my reeds were better, then I would be better. Then I would be a better oboist. Maybe it's a little bit true. It turns out that lots of the best oboists also have very, very good reeds. And the reed is just this little piece of damp wood. And the very best reed won't last longer than a week, a month. I've got reeds in my case that are 6 months old, but I don't play them every day. They're only there, for show, kind of. So yes, we want the best reeds possible. And as you know already, if you're here and if you've followed me ever, you're aware that I have hundreds of free videos on YouTube talking about different ways that I approach reed making. You may know that I have Monday Night Reed Club, where we can meet for reed making accountability and support. You may know that I've got a video program that you can purchase that actually involves a curriculum and worksheets or cheat sheets and videos called Zero to Reedmaker. That's not what I'm trying to sell you. I'm just letting you know that those things exist. But the other thing that I hold simultaneously true is you have to be able to play on your bad reeds. Because in the moment that you are actually on stage and the solo is approaching and it's 5 bars away, 4 bars away, 3 bars away, the only reed you have is the one that is on your instrument. And no matter what storm front has just rolled through, no matter whether you've just chipped it on your tooth, you have to deliver something right then. And I will say that recently in my flow program, we were, having this basic conversation again. We have to be able to play on the bad reeds. And somebody asked, could we do a session on how to play on your bad reeds? And I thought, what an interesting idea. I feel like that's a thing that people are largely adept at. Like, we're all sort of making our living on suboptimal reeds all the time. But I also thought that that might be a really interesting experiment for us here in this room. So, all right, here's what I wanted to do. I'm going to pull a reed at random out of this case where I've like sort of finished them for like they're day 2 reeds. They'll be finished again before they go out for sale, but they are in no way like fully finessed or customized to me. But my idea is this, and this is where also, over on your side, I would suggest that you grab your worst viable reed out of your case, the one that you would not play in public, and I will not ask you to. I might a little bit ask you to, but the reed that you have handy that you're like, ugh. And let's just explore for a minute. Okay. Okay. Here's an experience that I've had. As I am working with people in their lessons, frequently someone will play something and then be like, oh, this reed, I can't even, and they'll put it away again and pull out something else. And from my side, I don't hear the difference. And this is because as oboists, we are like very equipped to cover up for the deficiencies of the reed. We are always trying to make it sound like we don't have as bad a reed as we have. So maybe the first step in knowing how to handle your bad reeds is to just take a moment, play that reed, and exaggerate for yourself what you don't like about it. So, and the more advanced you are as a player, the weirder it feels to do that on purpose. But, so here's my new unfinished reed. Okay, so what I'm feeling is that it's super stuffy, and to exaggerate that, I will show you, I don't know, here's my normal air. Like, I have to put quite a lot of push behind it to get a response to happen without tonguing on it. And if I want it to come in immediately, I'm going to have to go. I'm pushing much harder with my tongue. I'm really thinking ta, ta, ta in a way that I might not ordinarily, because I'm looking for nuance. I'm looking for, an effortless entrance into the reed. So I suspect that because of how stuffy this reed feels, and this again was selected completely at random out of this box of 50 reeds that were not done. There's a stuffiness that makes me feel like I probably don't have a big dynamic range. What might that look like? Right? As I try to push dynamic through, I get the reed closes down and it overblows instead of just giving me more quality of sound. And probably because of how resistant that response was, I probably don't have a real soft quality either. Like, there's almost nothing in this reed, and it's not really wanting to accept my grown-up air, the air that I actually have. So what I would like to do is be the dork for a minute. I've got, what is this, a room full of 54 oboists watching me stink on this reed. But the thing that I want to try, and the thing that I would like to show you, is that even with this reed, which I just exaggerated at you and showed you just how much I hated it, I can probably make something coherent out of it. I'm going to, knowing that I have to push a little bit more with my tongue to get articulation started, knowing that I have a very small amount of dynamic range available to me, what I'm probably going to be doing is playing much more on the tip of the reed than usual. I'm going to be exaggerating my softs to allow for a little bit more loud. I'm going to be pushing harder on vibrato. These are just my predictions, and I'll tell you in a moment what it actually felt like. So as I did that, like I got a little applause from Dana. Thank you. I would like to ask, like, how bad did that sound? Were you aware of just how terrible my reed was, or did it sound like more or less like competent oboe playing? Mostly. And that is the thing that I bet is available to you too. Lots of people have lots of like mental drama about their reeds. I've seen oboists show up to the gig and soak up 17 reeds and, you know, try every one of them and go, "Arr! Arr!" each time. I've seen people, again, come into one-to-one sessions with me and spend the first 10 minutes like rejecting reeds over and over again. Isaiah says, I heard it. I assume that means you heard how bad it was, and I get it. It's not a good reed. But my exhausting though, yeah, totally. Barb says it's exhausting. Yes, exactly. I don't want to play this reed for an entire 2.5 hour concert. I don't even want to play the rest of that solo on this reed. But if I had to, I could. And because if I can play those first 8 bars of Swan Lake, like, I know that I can go a little bit longer. I was not at the blowing air out of the sides of my cheeks right out. Could I get there? Maybe. And this is why when we move on towards talking about endurance, like, having the best reed possible is a service to you. But here's what I'd like you to do. Grab, I think I mentioned in my email, it would be helpful to have a piece of music that you like, handy to you, convenient to you. Why don't you take that worst reed possible? Why don't you play it to yourself and exaggerate what you don't like and maybe put words on what is so terrible? And then pretend that you're actually playing for us and see if you can overcome and deliver a competent sounding performance to yourself for 4 bars, 8 bars. This doesn't have to be a giant experience. I just want you to sort of explore what it feels like to just deliver the goods despite the reed. Because here's the thing. It is not the exact sound that your reed is making that defines you as an oboist. It's not the reed that defines you. It is the musicianship that is inside you. It is the thing that you are trying to express, and you can do that regardless of the reed. In an ideal world, do you want a good reed? Yes, that's what the entire rest of my channel is about. And your job is to communicate the beauty that is inside you through the oboe to the audience, regardless of the reed du jour. I hope that this has been helpful. This has been a 5-minute Reedmaker lesson. You can follow these short videos here on YouTube. You can subscribe if you wish. I hope you will. And if you need to reach me to order reeds or cane, to order a copy of my book, The Happiest Musician, to sign up for my upcoming 3-month group coaching program, The Invincible Oboist, or to reach out to me with a question, you can find me at jennetingle.com. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.